Hi, welcome to our first series of videos that we post on our Evolving Interactive blog. Today we're being joined by Gierak, co-founder of Stick.com, to discuss Google Search plus your world.
Pleasure to be here, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Jay, you at Stick.com, you guys really live at this intersection between search and social. You said on a blog post on your site, I don't think it's that social beats search, or search beats social for that matter. It's that social plus search beats everything. Thanks again for joining us. Tell us a little bit about Stick.com and what you guys are doing.
So, Mark, thank you for having me. Stick.com, very simply, is a platform that helps connect consumers to trusted service professionals recommended by their friends. So, I'm not sure if you're familiar with a website like TripAdvisor, but it's that kind of website where ratings and reviews help consumers find and vet trusted professionals. And our big differentiator of the product is that we're tightly integrated with Facebook. So ratings and reviews actually mean something because they're connected to your social graph. It's not that 50 people recommended a review to an insurance agent or a mortgage broker. It's that 2 or 3 of your friends actually know them or wrote a review or recommendation for them.
Okay, great.
So we really rely heavily on social signals to help people not only with the search process, but also with the purchasing process.
Okay, great. And so recently, Google Search plus your world has come onto the scene and,
yes.
and changed Google search results. Are you guys using Google plus ones at all in your ranking signals, or is that right now mostly Facebook and the existing?
So that's a good comment. So we had an incredibly interesting few weeks with Google+. So originally our platform was built entirely around Facebook. The Facebook like button, Facebook comment plugins, and all Facebook authentication. Obviously, the big value of Facebook being the connectivity to the social graph. It's a place where real identities live, and it's a place where almost everyone's real identities live. And they've already mapped out all these important relationships that we have. So our big idea is based on this concept of relationships and trust. And to date, Google hadn't really done much along those lines until Google Plus came out this summer, and seemingly Google has made a big push into a world where connections matter and social relevance matters. So we had not originally structured ourselves for Google, but more for Facebook. But Google Plus and the advent of Google Plus integration into Facebook search has been a huge part of our last month. And to talk about that quickly, in the infrastructure side, we have this deep integration with Facebook using the Open Graph, the comment plugins like I spoke with. But we've also, on the side, added the +1 button and the Google Share. And the Google Plus API is something that's still growing, and it's still something that is ever changing, as we see over the last few weeks. But we did build the Google Plus infrastructure into the site. And we built it in a way we said, we're going to see what happens, build it and see, if we build it, see what will come. And as Search with Plus Your World has entered the fray, we've noticed that all of the Google Plus integrations we've done have dramatically impacted our ranking in Google Search.
Interesting.
And I think that's the most exciting thing about what's going on with Google Plus, is that they clearly as a business have dedicated a lot of resources, time, energy, marketing, etc. to it. But the question always with Google and all their products is, are they going to insert it into the holy grail, which is Google Search? I mean, that's where the cash cow of that business is. So I think that you see a lot of their products in local, they start to be integrated with search, but they don't go all the way because of antitrust fears, etc. There's a lot of reasons Google doesn't integrate every single product they have with search. But it appears that Google Plus, they have sort of gone with reckless abandon and said, we are going to put these signals in the #1 driver of our revenue and our business. So I think internally you hear people saying, we're going to bet the business on Google Plus. And by virtue of the fact that we're seeing socially annotated results move dramatically up the Google search rankings, I think that seems to be true. Early signs suggest that's true.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about strategy then. So part of what we're seeing now is if you do a search for just a broad term, like if I wanted to find a mortgage, you've given this example where sometimes we'll see stick.com.
That's correct.
Because I have it. And there will be an area that actually appears above the paid results on the right, in the right column, where you can have some of this social data in these enhanced listings.
You're also seeing this in the actual body of traditional search results, right?
With some rich content that you couldn't get unless you were
a social result. That's correct.
So you have another added advantage that people who don't go through this have. How should people get started?
That's a good question. So to give a little bit more background, obviously folks out there know the most expensive and competitive keywords are places where local businesses have always struggled to build a presence. I think that Google Local obviously helps with that and their ability to show very local stuff with the map and context right there. Unfortunately, on the global search, it's all the big brands that own those really wonderful keywords like need to buy car insurance or need a plumber.
Okay.
It's been hard for local businesses to find themselves in organic search results. Google Plus seemingly has changed that, and the example being, at Stick.com, we are deeply integrated with Facebook. We have this Google Plus invitation, and we're starting to see our Google Plus shares, which is people who we've integrated Google Plus into our individual service provider pages.
Okay.
And when people share the page, we're seeing that these pages are showing up at the top of Google search. Not just Google social search, but Google search itself, because they're putting the social results in.
And the point I think that needs to be underlined is the preference for these pages is dramatic. They are
absolutely, yeah.
They aren't just on the first page in the 8th result, which is, I could see that before this change, Google Search Plus Your World, you would see maybe your friend shared this and it'd be like the 11th result or something, the 8th result. Now, they're really pushing this to the very top of the first page of the search engine results.
Yeah.
So that the impact is dramatic.
The way you're saying, the weighting of social results, I think it's almost too much at this point. Where we showed up, our pages are showing up right directly below Allstate. It's paid Allstate insurance, Stick.com insurance recommendation, which the idea of this has been going for the last 2 weeks is exciting for us. It's unlikely that I think that the rankings are going to stay this way. I think they're going to change every 3 months. But the key is that you say, what is the implementation strategy? I think it's very similar to what people have talked to you about Facebook in the last year, which is get every single page to have the +1 button and get every single page to have the Google Share capability, which is built, that goes through the +1 process. But it's pretty clear that shares are viewed as incredibly valuable by the algorithm, and I think local businesses have the ability to drive meaningful share numbers in Google, which is to say, in the olden days we said I want 50 people to like my page. Getting a similar 10, 15, 25, 50 shares for that page will do dramatic things for Google search. And I think that the key, of course, is to get on sort of the theoretical level, what is going on here? In the olden days, Google said, this is the keyword, and these are the results for everyone who searches that keyword, maybe with a slight geographic twist, where if I search plumber, I'm going to get a slightly different result in West Virginia than Michigan and India. I think the other twist that we're seeing is now all of a sudden it's network-based. So now when I type in plumber, it's going to be different, not only for people in different areas, but people with different social networks, which is to say, everyone. So people are saying to yourselves, it's too good to be true, why does this make sense, Google Plus, what's going on? It's very simple. The biggest keywords now don't have a few different search results that they show. They have millions of different search results that they show. And you have the ability to be at the top of the list for all of the folks that are in your social sphere. And I think that's the place that we think we can make a big dent. That's where this is really powerful. There's no such thing as one good search result. There are now millions of good search results, and everyone has the opportunity to jockey for that top billing in their own sphere of influence, which is the sphere you want to sell to anyway. I think that's really important to know.
And so that allows you, like, from an SEO's perspective, we use things like ranking reports and tracking historical rankings for these keywords. Well, it's still maybe an important thing to do, but if you can use some of these social media marketing tactics, you can outperform your rankings on basically a ranking report that's cranked out by.
Yeah, I don't even know how you rank these pages anymore. There's too many.
It's sort of an inaccurate. It gives you maybe a rough idea. Things are improving, but it's an inaccurate science at this point because of personalized search and these social media metrics. Everybody's seeing a different page. Yeah,
everybody's seeing a different search result page. And I think that is the key point.
Well, Jay, thanks a lot for taking your time.
Thanks for having me, Mark. It's a thrill to be here.
Yeah, appreciate it. Again, this is Jay from Stick.com. Please check out his website whenever you get a chance. So long from Evolving Interactive. We'll see you again soon.